Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today is day 3 of building your strongest teaser. Really looking forward to today. As always, I'm really enjoying creating this series for you guys because it's helping me not only as a mover, but also as a teacher to find this one move and in everything that we do, which I think is just so cool. And it just goes to show the beauty of the method and how it's really all kind of like one big exercise, right? So a couple things that you're gonna need for today is your box. I still have mine on because Buddha is holding it down and I'm just prolonging disturbing him, so you don't need it to start. We also will need our dowel or like a maple pole. Now, if you do not have one of these, no worries, we're not gonna be using it a lot. You can use a hand towel, just like a bathroom hand towel, and then, yeah. So for spring settings, we have on 2 mediums and a light spring. So for balanced body, that is 2 reds and a blue spring. And your foot bar is down in your lowest setting. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing that some of you guys have like 6 different settings, right? And they can go like all the way down. I don't want it all the way down there. I'm thinking of the ones that have this kind of track on the side. I would say go halfway down. So kind of at like a 45-ish if you're looking at that quarter circle. So I'm hoping I didn't make that too terribly complicated. Headrest is gonna be up in your comfortable position. I'm getting set up for footwork. My last little disclaimer for today is I want you to think of these workouts and these sessions as not performances, right? You're not trying to look like me, or even if you're working out with a partner, the person next to you. I want you to really think about connecting to all of the right places and all the places that I'm cueing to help bring all the muscles to the party, to get all the employees working so we can move as efficiently as possible, and then to eventually execute our teaser on the long box. So that's it. I'm gonna get my box out of the way slowly and carefully, and I will meet you lying down on the carriage. All right, so you guys know the deal. Make sure that you're centered. Check the spacing on the side of your body, your neck, and the edge of the apparatus. So let's go all 10 toes on, heels together, toes apart. And then because we're on that lighter spring, I want you to make sure that your big toes are more on top of the foot bar so that we can get a good connection through the balls of your feet, through all the toe pads. And now start to feel that long line of energy out through the crown of your head and down through your tailbone. So the arms are reaching further away from the blocks as well. And now finding that neutral pelvis, can you now sink the back into the mat, finding your long imprint? So if this is your first time taking my class, I've been playing around with doing footwork in a long imprint. So all that means is we're trying to limit the tuck of the pelvis to sink the whole back into the mat, okay? So just kind of play around with that if it's your first time here, and also welcome. Okay, so feel the back settle into the mat. Go ahead and press the carriage out and then just see, okay, where do I need to adjust? And then bend your knees, come all the way home. Especially with the legs being lower, it is gonna be very tempting to want to tuck the pelvis as you go out. Especially for my big booty Judies out there, right? For my people out there with just extra tissue in the hips and the thighs. So do your best. Like even I can feel that my low back leaves the mat a little bit. I'm just doing my best to keep sinking it down. For 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, bring it all the way in. Let's slide up onto your arches. Legs are as zipped up as you possibly can. Now, before you curl the toes over, I want you to flex your feet and really feel the front of the shin bones kick on, or imagine they are. So without lifting the heels, I now want you to curl the toes over like you're holding onto pencils, and then go ahead and press the carriage out, keeping the ribs in the back heavy, and then pull down on that foot bar as you come in. And then just to add on to any confusion that there might be, to add on to the confusion, no, I don't want to do that. Just to try to clarify this long imprint. If you're like me that's feeling your low back kind of leave the mat, I just want you to focus more then on the base of the ribs staying heavy into the mat. And if that means the upper arm bones can't connect or can't stay into the mat, that's okay. Let's do a couple more here. Keep holding onto those imaginary pencils. And now drag the carriage all the way in. Let's slide up onto your heels. Legs, again, can either be zipped up or slightly apart. So all 10 toes are looking up to the sky. Weight right down through the center of the heels. Go ahead and press the carriage out. Now here's easier for me to find that long imprint and keep it. And each time you press the carriage out, I want you to feel this opposition out through your heels and back up through your belly, as if your organs were almost lifting up behind your ribs. And it's not a sucking in, it's just this imagining of this lift happening from your center. Because if we were sucking in, I don't know, could we breathe if we were sucking in? Probably not. All right, let's do a couple more here. 2 and 1. Awesome, bring it all the way in. Let's slide back down onto your toes, still in that Pilates V. Let's inch down to where you can grab onto the end of the mat. So with all 10 fingers onto the edge of the mat here in that Pilates V. Remember, your big toes are a little bit more on top than in front. Go ahead and press the carriage out and hold. I'm gonna let my shoulders relax a little bit so I'm not shrugging them up into my ears. And now think of the thigh bones just lengthening. Think of them almost dropping a little bit. And now push the heels under, 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 and then lift the heels right back up. Remember, the ribs are heavy. You're trying to keep the back into the mat, and then a lift back up. And still keep the wrapping of the toes over the foot bar as you push the heels under. I have to have a soft bend to my knees because I've got some knock knee. So if you're like me, that's okay, right? Just keep the soft bend as you go up and down. Last one. Lift the heels up and hold. I want you to keep the heels lifted and find a little bit of a push down into the foot bar, almost as if you were going to lift the hips, but please don't. Now, legs stay long. Can you now curl your head, neck, and shoulders up, looking down your front body? Let your elbows bend, and I want you to feel the push of your low back into the mat, but your chest lifting up. So once I come to this nasty point, it's like, okay, I'm no longer in my neck. My head feels much freer, but I am definitely in my stomach. And then go ahead and lower all the way down, down, down. Let's do that again. Go ahead and curl yourself up. Find a little bit of that push down into the foot bar. Hold, 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 and then lower back down. Last one, we're gonna come up and play. Get that good grip, curl up. Okay, heels are gonna stay high, chest is gonna stay high. Can you bend the knees in, pulling the carriage in, curl up higher, 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 and then press it right back out. Exhale, bend in, and then inhale, press it out, reach. Exhale, bend, bend, bend. Inhale, press it out, maybe curl up higher. Exhale, bend, 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 press it out. Last one, exhale, curl higher, 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 press it out. Lower everything all the way down. Bend your knees, come all the way home. Thank goodness that's over, right? Okay, stretch your legs out over the foot bar. Okie dokie. So legs are zipped up and let's do a little Pilates V. So feel this kind of external spiraling of the upper thigh bones. So kneecaps are looking away from one another. Reach the arms up to the sky. Create as much space between fingertips and your chest. So feel like you're almost rounding through the back and the ribs. Go ahead and pick the weight of your head up. Look down your front body. Can you find that same place that you were just in when we were holding onto the front edge of the mat? So we're really bending our spine, and then go ahead and curl all the way up, up, up. Pausing at the top. Feel the reach out through the fingertips, the pull back through the ribs, and now pelvis rolls away from thighs. Legs get heavier onto the foot bar. I want you to pass through that nasty point that we all struggle with, and then hold it there for just a second or 2 or 3, and then lower all the way down, 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 down. Let's do that again. We curl up. Find that your low back is into the mat. Try not to let the legs lift. And then roll yourself up, up, up. If you've got to grab onto something, okay? No worries. Arms stay reaching forward, ribs pull back. So right now I'm in protraction. My shoulder blades are pulling away from my spine. I'm gonna roll back, roll back. Again, think low back into the mat, waistband into the mat first before anything all the way down. But crap, we gotta change the springs. Okay, stay with me. We're gonna work through this last roll up. Again, arms reach up, pick the head up. Feel like you're pushing something forward with the arms. Roll yourself up, 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 up. Okie dokie. Let's swivel off to the side here. One medium spring. So that's one red for my balanced body. Let's go ahead now, grab your pole, okay? We're gonna work on that roll up. Now, just a quick disclaimer, if at any point you need to ditch the pole in your roll up, totally fine. Okay, so we lie back down, feet onto the foot bar here in Pilates V. So we've got the pole in our hands and you're about shoulder width distance apart, grabbing on. Let's just go ahead and press the carriage out. And then one thing real quick, make sure that you're close at the end of the carriage. So that way we just give ourselves space. We're not knocking the shoulder blocks. So the carriage is out right now. Arms, reach them up to the sky. I want you to pull apart on that bar and feel like you're breaking the bar. So right now, my elbow creases are looking to the wall behind me. That should hopefully open up my collarbones and yours as well. Now keep that breaking of the bar sensation. Can we lift the weight of the head up? So now the bar is like just over my thighs. I'm thinking of pushing the bar away from my chest and my ribs pulling back in opposition. Could you now start to roll yourself up, 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 and just find a tall seated position here, okay? Kind of a flat back-ish. Now, before we go any further, I want you to feel the weight that you have right now down through your hips. So maybe even kind of wiggle from side to side and just feel, okay, this is where I'm at. Can you keep the weight in your pelvis the same? Don't let it change. And now just start to round forward. Just start to round forward. Start to round forward. It's gonna limit you. It's gonna limit you. Start to round forward. Do not let that pelvis move. And then just stack the spine all the way up. Elbow creases are now looking up to the sky. Round forward. Round forward. Do not let that pelvis move. Do not let that pelvis move. Stay pushing into the foot bar. And then stack back up. It is spine stretch, all right? It's also your teaser. Let's do that again. Think ribs back. Pushing the bar forward. Pushing the bar forward. Do not let that pelvis move. And then stack back up. I'm getting a lovely stretch though. Let's do that again. Round forward, stretch forward. Keep pulling your sternum back as the fists go forward. And now imagine you're under a low ceiling. Start to roll yourself back. So now the pelvis will move. We roll back, pass through that nasty place. Pass through it and hold, and then go all the way down. I know I said pass through it. Pass and hold, you know. All right, we're now gonna add on, okay? Could you hover your right leg up? All right, just hold it here. Get your back into the mat, get the ribs heavy into the mat. I'm hoping that when you do that, that the leg got a little bit lighter, and then place the foot down. Arms just stay reaching up to the sky. Left leg hovers. Feel the low back press into the mat. Maybe the shoulders round off the mat as well. And then lower back down. So weight of the body is down through the base of the ribs. Other leg lifts and hold. Now, can you hold the hover of that leg? Arms are gonna start to lower down. Pick the weight of your head up and start to roll yourself up, up, up. There's that point where you find that weight down through your hips. Keep it like that. And now stretch forward, stretch forward, stretch forward. Leg stays still in space as you roll back. Roll back, keep breaking the bar. Push into the pinky side of your hand all the way down. Can we do one more like that? Leg stays still. We push the bar away. Sternum, ribs pull back, 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 And now as we round forward, the pelvis stays still. Ho, 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 ho. Roll back, roll back. The leg is starting to get a little heavy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. All the way back. Beautiful, lower the leg down. I need to situate, resituate because I inched up towards the blocks. Okay, we're back out to straight legs again. We gotta do 2 on the other side. So again, I'm breaking the bar. I'm feeling the back into the mat, hover the left leg up. We keep it still. It could be low, it could be high with that leg, doesn't matter. We pick the head up. We pass through that nasty place and then roll up, roll up. And then as you start to stretch forward, pelvis doesn't move. Pelvis doesn't move. It's so tiny, but there's so much work there. Roll back, roll back. Nice broad collarbone, nice broad collarbone. Beautiful all the way down. Keep your right heel lifted again. So both legs stay stable. Push, push the bar away, push the bar away. I want you to imagine that the leg right now is attached at your belly button. So that's where the weight of the leg is sitting, right in your belly button, all the way down. Lower that leg down and just go ahead and bend your knees, come all the way home. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and come off. You can place the bar away, we're done with it. All right, and then we're gonna come kneeling, facing the back end of your reformer here. Okay, so kneeling about hip socket distance apart. I want your feet hooked around the edge of the carriage here. We are gonna stay on this one medium spring. I want it to give you some feedback, okay? So it's gonna be a really tiny movement. Let's take left hand into your long loop, left long loop. And I'm gonna take my right hand around my ribs here. So I'm feeling square right now. My tailbone is heavy and my 2 front hip points are trying to lift up to my ribs. I'm gonna keep all those things. Left arm stays straight. Just pull the arm down and back and then pause wherever you're at. Think of the arm getting longer, but feel like the left ribs, left chest are kind of coming forward just a hair, and then arm comes forward. So there's no rotation here. I'm only saying that cue as like a counteraction cue. So let's do that again. Arm pulls down and back. Feel like that chest pushes forward and then back, forward, forward, lots of forwards. Again, arms pulls down and back and now holds here. I want you to rotate that left palm into your side body if it's not already. And now think of that left arm spiraling around your ribs. So around your ribs, around your back to your spine. And then it comes around and then forward. Almost like it's traveling around towards your back. Again, arm pulls down and back. It goes around the ribs. It starts to go back towards your spine. Chest stays open and forward. And then arm comes forward. I'm hoping you're feeling a little bit more upper back, shoulder girdle, something or another. Let's do that again. Arm pulls down and back. The ribs stay in that right hand. And then arm comes forward. Okay, we're gonna add on just a little baby twist now. So arm pulls down and back. That left palm kind of spirals or turns towards your body. And now can you twist your upper body to the right? I mean, just a hair to deepen the connection to the upper back and then back to center, arm comes forward. Again, arm gets longer, you get taller, spirals around. We twist to the right, just a hair, and then arm comes forward. I'm hoping this feels good after all the forward folding. So arm pulls down and back, last one here. It spirals around. We turn to the right, just a hair, and then back to center. Okay, go ahead and hang up that strap. All that twist is doing is just hopefully deepening the work in your upper back and like just below your shoulder blade. Every side is different. Left arm around your right rib, or sorry, just your whole front rib here. We're standing strong in our legs. Arm pulls down and back and then slowly releases forward. So think of firing up that back fat area. I say that because I work with a lot of clients that request work on the back fat. So if you know, you know. I'm not calling anybody out or saying it's bad. And then start to find that kind of rotation of the palm in towards the body. And then also start to feel that reaching around of the arm bone. So it's going around the ribs, chest is going forward a little bit. Ooh, definitely feeling it more on this side. This is definitely my weaker side here. And the hand around the ribs is just feeling that, okay, there's no shifting going on. I'm not twisting to the right, I'm staying square. And my tailbone is staying long. Buddha, am I doing this right? I don't know if you guys can see him. He's just chilling on the box here. Okay, now let's add in that twist. Arm pulls down and back, you hold. We reach the arm down, we get taller. And now can you twist to the left a little bit? Feel that right chest pushes forward, 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 and then back to center. Ooh, this side's way harder. Okay, again, a few more times. Arm pulls down and back. Think of that elbow crease shining to the right as you twist to the left, and then back to center. Goodness, this is tough. It's so tiny. Twist, 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 back to center, arm forward. Last one here, I promise. Think sides of the neck nice and long, ears are lifting off your shoulders, back to center, arm pulls forward. Woo, okay. So now let's choke up a little bit onto like closer to your buckles. I don't want this to be a crazy heavy spring, so just keep that in mind. This is more about working into some shoulder movement, okay? So I'm gonna let my arms kind of hang forward and I'm gonna let my hips go back. I'm gonna round my spine, tuck my tail. So I'm looking down and I'm really hunched over here in like a very healthy, supportive way, okay? So feel the shoulder blades are pulling away from my spine. And now I'm gonna just slowly pull my arms down and back a little bit and just feel my chest come forward. My booty's gonna stick out. So I'm not pulling my arms all the way back. It's just enough to where I can just feel that same kind of armpit connection we found. And then my arms are gonna come forward. I'm gonna round my spine, lift my sternum up and tuck my tail. Arms gently pull down and back. Heart reaches forward. Find those same muscles that we just worked. And then arms glide forward. So I know that you guys can pull the arms all the way to the hips here. That's not what I'm looking for. It's just about finding some movement through the shoulder blades. And it's also a little cat-cow. And also finding that opening across the chest. Couple more here. Heart reaches forward. Maybe you look up. Last one. Think of that pinky connection going all the way down the back of your arm, all the way to your armpits. And then arms come forward, we round the spine. Okay, let's go ahead and hang up those straps. We're gonna stay kneeling, but I want you to come to a point where your knees, shins, and toes are on the carriage. So ideally, not up against the shoulder block. So if you've got super long legs and you have to, do what you gotta do, okay? My hands are gonna come onto the frame, forward of my shoulders. Okay, legs are zipped up, toes are pushing down, shins are pushing down. I'm gonna find my long imprint here. Can I pull my shoulders over my hands and hold? It's a little bit heavier spring, so bear with me here. So feel your shoulder blades pull away from one another and find a little bit of protraction here. And we're just holding. Now, can you push your big toes down into the mat almost as if your knees were going to lift up? Just imagine, right? For 2 and 1, and then just guide the carriage back. Please tell me that you felt something there, especially when you tried to get more weight in your big toes than your knees. I don't know about you, but I was shaking. Okay, you decide how big the tension or how much tension you want here, okay? So hands are down. Let's do that again. Pull yourself forward to where you're in that quadruped position. So ideally, knees are under hips, hands are under shoulders, ideally. I want you to keep the weight down through your big toes. And now let the carriage go back a little bit. And then exhale, pull it under. So it's like you're digging your big toes into sand or like into the earth to create a little groove. Keep your back flat. Keep lifting your sternum up away from the floor. You have 2 and 1. Let the carriage go back all the way back. Whew. Okay, so let's add on here. And now tuck your toes under, like we're gonna do a plank, because we kind of are, but more into a pike. Now, all I want you to do here, the carriage is gonna stay in. Just pike the hips up, straighten your legs, and hold. Okay, I had to bring my thumbs around on the other side. I felt myself slipping, so do so if you need, and pause right here. Can you still feel the shoulder blades pulling away from one another in your back? Can you maybe lift your sternum and your ribs up a little bit more, lift your heels up higher, and then just bend your knees and lower right back down. Let's do that one more time. Pike the hips up. Think sides of the neck long. Lift your heels up high. Lift your sternum up. So we're in this rounded downward dog-ish position, and then bend your knees and lower down. Shake out the hands if you need. Now we're gonna add some movement, okay? So it's a tiny movement. We pike the hips up. Spine is rounded, head is dropped, neck is long. I'm gonna have to shift my weight forward a little bit, round my spine, puff up the back. Can I pull the carriage in a little bit and then pull it back out? Pull it in, let it glide back out. Lift the belly up. Pull the belly away from the pelvis. For 2 and 1. Guide the carriage back, lower the knees all the way down. Take a moment. That was your teaser right there, just upside down. Shake out the hands. In fact, let's give ourselves a quick break here. Come kneeling, hip socket distance apart or together. Together could be a bigger stretch. And now let's interlace your fingers here, hands behind your head. Half of your fingers on your skull, half on your neck. Bring your elbows forward and think more wide back rather than wide elbows. I'm gonna drop my tailbone. I'm gonna feel my front ribs sandwiched to my back ribs. And now just side bend up and over to the right. And then lift back up. We side bend up and over to the left. Right shin gets heavier. And then back up. Again, up and over. Equal weight through your shins. And then back up. As you side bend over to the left, think of your left hip coming just a hair more forward. I feel like mine wants to go back, and then stack back up. Keep your head to hand connection, and now just lift and twist to the right. Hips stay square to the wall in front of you, and then back to center. Lift and twist to the left. Keep the space in your back, and then back to center. So our elbows are not moving, meaning they're not like going forward and back like wing flapping, and then back to center. Lift and twist to the left, and back to center. Awesome work. Okay, that was your break for your wrist. So make sure that your headrest is all the way down. I want you to step your left foot back to where it's at the very edge of the carriage. Just be careful, I still want you to have your foot on. I want you to bring your right foot forward onto the headrest here. My hands are gonna be on my shoulder blocks. Okay, so all I want you to do right now, the carriage is gonna stay in, okay, just be mindful that it's on a light spring. All I want you to do is just stand up, drop your head, try to straighten your legs, and just hold here. So head is dropped, I'm pushing into the hands, and I'm thinking of my organs or my low belly lifting off of my thigh. That's it. That's it. And then bend your knees and lower back down. So this is your back splits. It's also your teaser and your tendon stretch. Let's do that again. Straighten your legs, drop your head. Feel like you're almost pulling the blocks apart a little bit. So that should hopefully, relax the neck a little bit more. And then bend your knees, come all the way in. Okay, last one here, I promise. We lift up, hold. Now, could you lift your right heel up and then lower it down? Lift it up and lower it down. So my toes stay down, it's just my heel lifting. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a deeper stretch. For 2 and 1. Now keep your back leg straight, bend into your front knee and pause. Alrighty, so I have to shift forward a little bit. That's me. And now, could you hover your foot up off the carriage. I had to slide mine back. That's okay. And then place the foot right back down. Okay. Yeah. So let's try that again. I'm going to push into my arms. I'm going to lift my chest up away from the mat. Can you now hover your foot 1 inch? Hold, 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 and then place it back down. If you are like, what is happening? Totally reasonable response, okay? The thing I want you to think about is creating space, okay? You have got to lift your chest up. You've got to push through your arms, okay? One more time. Round, lift the belly, lift the ribs, hover the foot. Keep trying to lift the chest up. Create space in your back for 2 and 1. Place the foot down. Let's carefully switch. We come back to that kneeling position. Shake out the hands. Okay, so we're starting with the foot forward. It'll eventually come back for most of us. So hands onto the blocks. We're gonna stand up, straighten your legs. So in this position, think of your left hip going back, right hip spiraling forward. Boy, oh boy, this is a tighter side. Drop your head if you're comfortable with it, and then bend your knees lower down. And we're obviously trying to get to straight legs. Drop the head, straighten the legs, and then bend your knees lower down. Keep the heel of your hands connected, okay? Try not to come up onto spider fingers, okay? I know it's easier, but again, I want you to create space in your back. Again, stand up. Okay, all I want you to do here is just try to lift your heel up and lower it down. Goodness. Lift the heel up and down. Can you keep your legs straight when you do this? Lift the heel up and down. Keep pushing down through the pinky side of your hands and think elbow creases shining forward. For 2 and 1, bend your knees, lower all the way down. Okay, so shimmy that left foot back a little bit if you need. All right, so we stand up, back leg goes straight. Okay, front knee bends. Can you hover the foot up? Keep lifting the belly. Keep pulling the shoulder blades apart and then lower the foot back down. Whoo! It's a little play on push-up devices or like some calisthenic stuff, but it's just teaser on some drugs. Okay, again, back heel is lifted, hover the foot. Hover, hold, 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 and then place it back down. Whoo! Can we do 2 more? Yes, we can. Alrighty, let's do it. Lift the belly, lift the ribs, round, push into your arms, push into the heels of your hand, and then place the foot down. Last one here. Again, you guys got this. Hover the foot, hold, 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 and place the foot down. Okay, let's open some things up. Let's grab your long box. We're gonna stay on the same spring that we're on. Hopefully Buddha won't be too upset with me. Hi, my baby. All right, so once you have your long box set up, I feel like with this spring, the chest might need to be completely off the box, but please adjust accordingly. Okay, so we're gonna walk up, climb up. You're gonna grab onto your risers. If you have a tower, you might grab onto your uprights here. So my hands are about in line with my shoulders, in line with the rest of my body. I'm gonna let myself hang down. I'm gonna give myself a much needed stretch because we've just done all of that forward folding. So just kind of stretch out the armpits a little bit here. Now, because this is a heavier spring, I want you to think of your legs kind of pushing down and your pubic bone almost kind of hooking into the box in a way. Now go ahead and pick your head up just to where it's in line with your spine. Okay, so we're gonna stay looking down. Now let the shoulders shrug up into the ears, and now pull the shoulder blades down away from the ears. So we do elevation, shoulder blades creep up, depression, shoulder blades glide down, up and down. Even here, think of your elbow creases looking up to the sky and your armpits are looking down to the floor. Let's do 2. I'm hoping this feels good. And last one. Now we're gonna add a little movement with our spine. So as the shoulder blades come down into depression, maybe your chest lifts up a little bit, finding a little bit of extension, And then chest comes down, shoulder blades glide up. Shoulder blades glide down, we lift up. I want you to feel like you're pushing the bars down to the floor. And then everything comes down. Your bars, your uprights, whatever you want to call them. Shoulder blades glide down. We press the bars down to lift the chest up and then all the way down. One more time. Keep the lift up through your belly. Let the ribs lift with you as well. And then all the way down. Now hold your long line. Keep the shoulder blades still in space and now low row yourself up. So think elbows going down and back and then slowly resist back out. So can you keep the sides of the neck long as you do this row? Think of your ribs lifting up away from the floor a little bit here so we're not completely dumping into your back. Upper back stays nice and broad. So there's that cue I like to use of like big wingspan, even though we're narrow here. A couple more here. Hopefully you're feeling your lats, your armpits, something. For 2. And last one. Let the arms go straight. Maybe you let the head fall one last time. Maybe a little shoulder roll here. And then go ahead and take the hands down and then glide yourself all the way back. Nice work. All right, now we're gonna take that lat activation and we're just gonna take it a step further. So wiggle yourself forward to where the box is kind of in the middle of your pelvis. So in between your hip points and your pubic bone. My hands are onto the frame here. My legs are neither forced apart, neither together. If you're looking to be really mean to yourself, you can have them together, totally up to you. Now, I want you to straighten your arms to where your chest is up and you're looking forward. Now, even here, can you find a little bit of that side body activation like we did in the rows? So I just felt my armpits kick on. I just felt my neck get a little bit longer. Now you're gonna keep the shape of your spine. Let your legs lift first, just a little bit. And now the elbows are gonna bend, chest dives forward, legs lift. So find your upper back muscles, just like a row. And then chest lifts up, leg lowers down. You keep the front ribs up into your back ribs to support the back. Again, legs lift first, elbows bend, chest goes forward, legs lift up without any low back pain, and then we lift back up. Let's do that again. Heart reaches forward. Think length over height. There we go. Legs lift, and then back up. Shift it forward a little bit for me. 2 more here. Broad collarbone. Find your lats, find your side body. And then all the way back up. Last one. Think of thighs lifting up and then all the way back down. Nice work. Shift your hips back to your heels. Give yourself a little child's pose. Maybe a little cat-cow. So if you haven't noticed, working a lot more into the shoulder girdle today, it's very important. That arm to back connection directly connects to your stomach. It was like a freaking bombshell for me when I realized that in my practice. So let's switch it to a short box, up against the shoulder blocks and centered on your carriage. So we're gonna stay on this one red spring, on this one medium spring. Try not to adjust it too much. It's gonna be challenging, but supportive. So I'm gonna come seated on my box, facing you. So my shoulder blocks are to my right here. Now I tested this out earlier. If I'm too close to the front edge, my box rubs up against my frame and the carriage doesn't move. So I want your hips more in this like third-ish area of the box. I'm gonna lie down. Okay, so just know there's no support for your head here. I'm gonna grab onto my long loop. If you wanna choke up, you can choke up. My left hand is gonna go behind my head. I'm gonna lift my head, neck, and shoulders up. So my low back is into the mat. My chest is lifted. Find your legs in tabletop here. Now, all I want you to do with that right arm, it's reaching forward. There's a soft bend. Just hug the arm into your side and then let it go back out. And I can already tell I want that short loop. Let's do that again. Hug the arm in and then let the arm come back out. So find your side body here.
Find the reach out through the fists. Nothing else moves. Let's do 2. And 1. Now hold the arm into your side. Stretch your right leg out in front of you. If having the head behind your head is not for you, you can grab onto the back of the left leg. No worries. Now all I want you to do is just lift your right leg up and lower it down. Lift it up and lower it down. Now because we have lots of space below the leg, can you try to take the leg lower than the plane of the hip, keeping the low back into the mat for as long as you can, and lift it back up. Right arm stays hugging in, but also reaching forward. Okay, now we add some movement. As the leg lowers down, let your chest fall back, let the arm go out to the side. You will lose spring tension and that's okay. All right, so we hug the arm in, we lift the head up, we lift the leg up and pause. So our leg is just coming up to about 45 and our chest is just trying to lift up off the box. Leg lowers down, maybe past the plane of the hip, chest goes down. And now as your head picks back up, press your low back into the mat. Arm comes in, leg lifts up. We only have a couple more here of these. I know these are tough. So this is the position that you will come in when we do our full teaser. Arm hugs in, leg lifts, and then everything comes all the way down. Last one here, I promise. Exhale, scoop and reach. Maybe you can curl up a little bit higher on this last one, a little bit higher, and then lower everything all the way down, down, down. All right, hang up your strap. Let's go ahead and roll you up. Okay, and let's do the other side. So here, I want you to think about that cue of weight of the leg into your hip. Think of the leg being attached at your belly button, and that's where the lift is coming from, as opposed to just all hip flexors, all low back, okay? So get your low back into the mat first before you start trying to get the leg up as high as you can. All right, so we lie back, hand into that short loop or whichever one you're working with. Legs are gonna stay in tabletop, right hand wherever you'd like. And now we just hug the arm in and then take it back out. So even here, can you find a little bit of that pinky line of your hand pressing into the strap? All right, now we hug the arm in. Your left leg is gonna go out. We're gonna lower it and lift it. I gotta clear my blinds here. Lower it and lift it. So when we're doing this lower end lift, keep the low back into the mat, chest stays lifted and stable. And you're just kind of testing the waters, like, okay, how low can I really get this leg without my back or my ribs popping? And I'm only flexing my foot here because I just have to clear the blind so you can just have a pointed toe. All right, now we lower the leg down. We let the arm go out to the side. We let our chest fall back. And now we use our exhale. Sink the ribs, lift the head, sink the back, hug everything in tight. And then everything comes all the way down, down, down. We're trying to keep that right leg still. I just noticed mine going all over the place. Exhale, hug everything back in. If letting the head go back is too much on your neck, just go back to where you're at your even plane or where there's no pain, and then lift back up. Are we all feeling some stomach, I hope? Whew. Find some more length on the sides of your neck, y'all. Exhale, hug everything in. One more. Leg goes down below the plane of the hip, and then hug everything in, hold. Maybe you can curl up higher, maybe you can curl up higher, and then lower everything all the way down. Wow, hang up your strap. Did you feel stomach on that? I hope. Holy cannoli. Okay, so foot bar, if it's not already, let's place it back into a normal footwork setting. So not the one we did in the beginning, your normal footwork reformer setting. We're gonna keep the short box on. We're gonna have a seat facing your foot bar. Now you can have your heels, let's do that. Heels are up against the box. So high heel,
half high heel, doesn't matter, as long as your heels are into the box. Okay, and they're about hip socket distance apart. I'm gonna reach my arms forward, thumbs with fingertips here. I'm already thinking of that opposition of hands away from sternum already. Go ahead and lift the hips, press the carriage back, find your plank and hold. Even here, can you find a little bit of a break and pull apart on the bar? So my elbow creases are pointing forward. Now we're gonna play around with the shoulder girdle here. So we're gonna hold the plank. I want you to let your chest fall down. Think shoulder blades hug your spine. That's retraction. Find protraction, chest lifts up. Shoulder blades pull away from one another. Chest comes down. Find retraction, and then chest lifts up. I'm trying to keep my hips in line with the rest of my spine while I do this, but you know, I'm not perfect, y'all. So it's all shoulder girdle. Keep pushing back through that carriage. I know it's a heavier spring, bear with me. Exhale, you lift. Inhale, you lower. Exhale, lift the ribs. Inhale, lower. Now exhale, lift the ribs. Bend your knees in, let your spine round, head drops, and then press it right back out to that long line. As your knees come in, round your spine and pause here. This is you lifting the knee up into the chest and your chest and your belly off of your thigh, right? That hold that we did earlier. Press it out, find your long line, and then pull it in. In fact, let's play with it here. So bring the carriage in and pause. Could you bring your right knee into your chest? Push into your arms, round your spine more, and then place the foot back down. Left knee into your chest, round your spine, push into the arms and the foot, and back down. Again, knee into your chest, lift the belly, lift the organs, and back down. Other one, last one here, I promise. Lift the knee, push into the arms, place it back down. Now press the carriage back. Go all the way back. Hit the end of your carriage. Now you're gonna keep the carriage still and all the way out. Pike the hips up, push the chest through the arms. So get a stretch somewhere. And now carriage stays out, so it's not gonna move. Let your tailbone drop. Let yourself kind of articulate out into that long line. And now head is gonna drop. Push through the arms, find protraction, strong. And then we undulate, we roll up. Oh, keep that carriage out. Chest comes forward. And then we roll ourselves forward. So it's kind of like an upstretch variation, just with the carriage out. Keep pulling the shoulder blades apart, even as you come into this downward dog position. Tailbone curls under. We undulate, we roll out, roll out, roll out. Last one here, I promise. Roll yourself up, keep that carriage out. Mine keeps wanting to shift. And then roll yourself forward. Bend your knees, round your spine, and then go ahead and take the hips all the way down. Love it. Y'all, so many good things today. Let's end with a little monkey stretch with a twist. So all 10 toes are on. You can be in Pilates V or you can be parallel to whatever you'd like. So you're seated at the front edge of the box here to give yourself some room. I'm gonna grab onto the foot bar, and then I'm just gonna press the carriage out. Press the carriage out, press the carriage out, make it feel good. You're trying to straighten the legs, and then bend your knees, come in. Now, the move that we did earlier, right, that stomach massage, spine stretch, reach forward, I want you to think of trying to keep the weight in your hips the same, okay? Meaning we're not letting that pelvis tip any more forward. Now try to press the carriage back. So try not to let that pelvis spill forward, and then bend the knees, come back in. It's super hard. So the weight that you have in the pelvis when the carriage is in, keep it like that as the carriage goes out. Last one here. This is an extreme version of your teaser. So think of the ribs lifting, the organs lifting off your thighs, and then come all the way back in. Okay, so now I want you to take your left foot down onto the carriage. My right foot is now in parallel. I'm gonna take my left hand, I'm gonna grab onto the foot bar just to the left of my foot. I'm gonna place my thumb on that big ball of my foot, but on top of my foot. So it's just below my big toe, okay? That's gonna help keep my foot in place, all right? So now my right arm is gonna reach forward. And as I try to straighten my leg, my right arm is now gonna reach back. I am pushing into the ball of my foot to try and help plant it down. And then I bend the knee, come back to center. So I'm gonna push it out. And now, before you go into your full twist, just look back at that front foot. Is it doing funky things? Does it look perfectly parallel? And now take your gaze all the way back to that right hand. Still thinking of ribs lifting, all the things, open up your wingspan, and then come back to center. Last one here, I promise. Lift, get longer, get longer, get longer, and then back to center. Okay, other side, right foot down, left foot on, right hand on, lots of rights and lefts, y'all. I know, okie dokie. So I keep that foot planted in space as I press out. And let that right shoulder relax. Maybe let the left shoulder relax a little bit more, and then come back to center. Again. Think of getting longer in your twist. So I'm spiraling up, 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 and back to center. Ooh, I felt that last one. Last one here. Take a quick peek at that foot. Make sure it's not rolling in or out. So that left kneecap is looking up to the sky. You get taller, 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 and then back to center. Y'all, good stuff today. A little bit different than what we've been working on. I was trying to give you guys breaks, like with the extension and some of the arm work, because if we were to just do teasers out there the whole time, like it's just too much forward folding. So we do need some chest opening there, but even in your extension and the rows, we can find our armpit muscles, which is what you need for your teaser. I think, you know, we think of the teaser as, you know, ab work, but it is 1000% full body. And when I know I'm getting a little teachy here, so if you're hanging in there with me, I appreciate you. But when our arms come forward, right, we have to create that space, because otherwise we can't, like what we're doing, that knee hold, we got to make space. Otherwise, where's the knee going to go? So that like deep of like ribs pulling back, arms coming forward, like I immediately feel my stomach there. I'm telling you, there is such a connection between your arms, shoulder, and your stomach here. And if you can tap into that, oh, it's going to make so many things not only click, but it's going to take you out of the places that maybe have been working too hard that need a break. Oh, okay. Again, TED Talk, I'm done. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate you. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Like this video if you're enjoying it. Share it with your friends, your teachers, get their thoughts. Come back to me. Let's chat about it. And I really hope to see you next week for the final one where we go back and we attempt the full teaser on the long box. All right. So have a good week. I hope to see you on Thursday and next Monday. Thanks, y'all.